Hey guys, welcome to BMW Blog. We have a very special surprise for you today. I'm actually in the car with Bill Auberlen. I don't think he needs any introduction. The car might. We have a BMW M4 G82 rear-wheel drive with a 6-speed manual. So this is the first time that actually anybody gets to drive the new M3 and M4 with a 6-speed. So Bill, thanks for driving me around. What do you think about the car? You had it on the track a little bit. Tell us more.
So before I even had it on the track, we're here in West Palm Beach, right? Yeah. And I walk up to the car, and you see this crazy color. I come from California. I love this color. And some people were talking about the grille, that it was a question mark in their mind. You could lay that to rest. I love the grille. I love the color. And I've driven BMWs a lot, and not, if some are not as pleasing to me as others, this one is cool, right? And if I don't like it, I'll be quiet about it. This one, looks neat, looks different, looks fresh, and I'm sure when we take it on the highway right now, people are going to look at this like crazy. Then you get it on the racetrack, right? You have improved horsepower, over 500 horsepower now, so now the thing rips. And you got this other feature. Have you seen that feature?
Which one?
Oh my God. So
the lap timer? Talking about that one?
Well, that's something, but you now go into your M settings, and you set up what a lot of people know, which is, Sport Plus, Comfort Plus, whatever you want through the button settings. And when you turn off the traction control, it gives you an option to go from drift control. So now I have 0 to basically 10 of control of a drift. So the computer gets in, and I was testing this. Should I show it to you? Check this out. So you go to your home page, you go to car,
and then I use this to capture that.
you go to M, you go to configure, and once you set up all of these things here, you get to DSC. Now you have your M traction control, and now you can set where you want to put your traction control. That is basically going to control the angle of your drift.
Interesting.
All right, so we'll put it, I like it on 7 because I mash the throttle. It puts out, how do you like this, 13.8 degrees of lateral drift, and it controls it all the way through the turn. Okay, you think this is worse. It gets worse. You head over to Drift Analyzer, and then you activate it. It tells you to do this. I did a 144 yard drift at 13.6 degrees, and it only rated me 3 out of 4 stars. So I'm gonna have to up my game a little bit here, right? I cannot imagine how this gets through, but as a race car driver, this is way too much fun for me. Oh yeah. I'm sure there's gonna be some guys that are gonna, so our other car got tested by somebody, came back with a 1,245 yard drift. So they must have been doing it on like maybe an oval, a skid pad or something. Yeah. The sound on this car now, so this is reminiscent of my old school E36, E46, screaming 3-liter 6 cylinders. It sounds really good.
It does. I actually like it more than the S55. Some people said, oh no, the S55 sounds better, but I've seen the X58 in the X3M and X4M, and I think it sounds great.
It does sound good, right? This one sounds great. And the shift lights right on target, right there. This one, I think if we're an M, right? Yeah. And it has the auto blipper that a lot of people are familiar with. So
you can turn it off now, I think, right?
You can turn it off.
Okay, yeah.
Which,
that was the thing in the M2 competition, wouldn't let you turn it off, and it was a little bit annoying.
But if you look at that, it's really good.
But do you like to drive with it on or off?
On, 100% on.
Yeah, on, yeah.
Because you just hit the brake, dip the clutch, and it's right there for you. Okay. So you can't beat it. We're already heading to manual where you're in control. Now that you could turn it on or off, some people didn't like it, but it takes out that having to be perfect with your heeling and towing,
Gotcha. So what did you like about the car on the track? Did you go quite fast, or?
I went
like all in.
So I started going fast enough to where it was just great slides and good power down. And then they came to me, they go, hey, there's very few of these cars in this country like this, and we don't have a lot of tires. So this became the fun started taking over, and then I started beating up on the tires a little too much. But you have a very good front end. So now you could point it in, put it down, and the power down was quite good. So the balance is probably the best of any M4 that I've driven. Right? Even the predecessor was pretty good. This one has good steering wheel feel.
Do you feel like it's heavier steering, more precise, or?
You know, a lot of people have something to say about that. Maybe I'm a little more. From the racing world, I come out of a slightly different world where other people want more feel. They want maybe a heavier steering. I come out of stints, 24-hour races, 3-hour stints. I could use the lightest wheel. My feeling seems to come up through my body totally more so than my feeling of my hands. Although I tend to do these movements on my hand, and I always wonder where are these movements coming from. And it's because I initiate something and I immediately get a feeling of the pavement. So I can do it with soft steering or heavy steering. It doesn't matter.
What about the chassis?
You can adjust the steering.
Yeah, you actually can. Yeah, so steering, engine,
comfort.
What else? Transmission, I think. So what did you think about the chassis on the track and the suspension?
Well, I didn't.
Was it stiff enough?
No, I didn't think about it, which is strange. If something is a problem, it forces you to think about it, right? So I never said to myself, "Oh, that needs to be stiffer. That needs to be softer." It was pretty tuned right. And what I liked about it is I'm on the racetrack, and it was doing everything I needed it to do. Is it a race car? No. Does it have the heritage of exactly the cars that I race? 100%. I race a GT4 M4 on the street, on the racetrack, and you know this is exactly where it comes from, right? So it feels just like the race car, just a little bit less aerodynamics, a little bit less tire, but it doesn't do anything weird. And have you felt the bump yet? Does it feel too smooth?
No, it's really smooth. Right?
Really smooth.
Yeah, and those PS4s, they're actually quite harsh on the roads. So usually,
you know, I have an M8 competition that I drive every day. It feels much stiffer than this.
It does, yeah.
So this one has very good compliance. They have the damping right. I've never felt any of the cracks in the pavement. So yeah, I like it.
Well, limited slip, pulls that on the track. Just works.
Just works. Yeah. When the diff works, it doesn't give you any problems. You know, it's just working. I don't feel like it's. Sometimes I can feel my M8, like I said, in a tight turn, engaging. I think electronically it engages. This one I never felt any of that. So I'm not sure how it works, but I haven't felt
what was the top speed that you got up?
That's a good question. I didn't look. I didn't look. I actually didn't look. But it pulls, right? So for me, I'm always looking for more power. Always, you know. And with this motor, it feels like they make the most horsepower on the last rev on the way up. You felt it pulls.
Yeah, it does. I mean, especially in a straight line. Yeah. So this one, it's not only 473 horsepower versus the competition that will have 503. Yeah. So that will be even faster with the all-wheel drive and the actually faster. I'm not sure if that's going to add some weight to it, but it will definitely be stickier on the road probably.
I just wish, you always want more power. I wish, even with that 500, the problem is the car handles so well that it could be 600. And that was what I keep saying to the engineers. I wish it was 600. I wish it was 620.
They still have to do the M4 CS and M4 CSL, so there's still room. Yeah, there's room to do that. So that's why, but they're probably going to do it only on the all-wheel drive. I don't see them doing it on the
totally. That's the thing. All-wheel drive gives you, it opens a whole different world, right? Traction's going to be unlimited. That's right. Launch control's going to be crazy. The car's going to be light. You won't have that rear wheels spin. Well, I like it. Now we just need to get it on the racetrack and try out the drift mode. That would be killer.
I think you shot some video with it after that, right? Did you shoot some video? So,
and you'll see the front wheels, you're working it, and you have to have faith, right? Because if you just mash your foot in it, it will send you sideways, but then all of a sudden the motion stops and it holds you right at that angle, which is...
Out of all the racetrack that you've been on, which one do you think these cars should definitely go on?
Well, shoot.
I'm curious. It's a quite technical car, right? So you probably benefit from
I don't know. I like ripping along. So I like stuff because it almost gets back to what tracks do you like the most. I
Yes.
like Road America. I like, and these things, it's gonna zip along. It's gonna do some of the crazier turns in Road America really well, like the carousel, like turn 8 coming down the hill, or 5, 6, and 8. All that's gonna do really well. Watkins Glen, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna go over the. I've already blasted the curbs quite hard here in West Palm to see what it's like. It rides right over. It lands. You know, I was up on 2 wheels. It lands, and you know, it doesn't have any bouncing going on or anything strange. It's gonna be fine. I think anything that's mid to higher speed is where this is gonna shine.
Some cool footage to see actually out of this one. Very cool. Well, thanks, Bill. Appreciate the quick overview. Look forward to seeing that video on the track. I think that will be pretty spectacular. I think.